Hi, my name's Stephen here from Archery Supplies, and we're going to look at the new Elite Victra today. I haven't even opened one. I sold 5 of them, all red. So I want to talk about that because obviously colour is the most important factor. So I've got these in literally all the colours in stock, and the only colour that has sold has been red, and I've sold 5 of them. And I haven't actually seen one, believe it or not. So the one I sold in my store was one of my staff's dads. So he set it up, I didn't even see it. So we're going to, let's start by opening up the blue one. And I want to talk about how this compares to other Elite bows and how it compares. So this is how it comes packaged. There's bubble wrap at the top, I assume bubble wrap at the bottom, bubble wrap covering the cams. Instructions. Right, so with the Victra, it's got a yoke system. Okay, so when you've got a yoke system, you can't fit limb stops. So for the people who don't like not having a yoke, and I'll tell you why people don't like having a yoke, you're going to give up limb stops. So with the Verdict, you have cable stops and limb stops. I only use the cable stop, right? So for me it's not going to make any difference, but I do like the concept of having both. So the cam itself, well, it looks pretty much the same to me. Just pull this aside. Graphics. Comes with a smooth mod. The outside edge of the module has a little lip so you can't pull past the stop. 2 locking screws. I think on the Verdict there's 3. We'll check that. This is a timing system here. Now I feel like this has gone back to old school. Darden has got something like this. So basically the point of this is, if you want to get your cams in time, instead of using a bow press, you basically adjust it here. If you want to adjust your poundage by a little bit, you're not getting enough poundage. People often complain that once their cables stretch a little bit, they lose a little bit of poundage. So this is a 60 pound bow, so maybe it goes to 57. You can just increase it here a little bit. Look, I wouldn't use this. I just twist on the cables, but if I didn't have a bow press, well, it's probably a good thing. Now the other thing I'm going to say is bowstrings today are amazingly good. They're not like back when I started 40 odd years ago, where the strings used to stretch. You'd shoot them for a bit, then you'd have to adjust them again. Strings these days out of the box are amazing. They are so good, they don't stretch. You don't have to shoot them in, you just go shoot. So I don't know if this is much of a thing. Now the yoke system versus non-yoke system, so we're going to show you the Verdict with a non-yoke system. The concept of this is it pulls evenly on the cam. Now with the Elite tuning system, you can pivot these limbs, and that is amazing. Absolutely incredible. My son's bow shoots, which we're going to show you, shoots particularly well. Very, very happy. I've done a video with it. Anyway, his bear shaft was hitting that far right of his fletched arrows, and I turned it on the adjustment screw here. I turned it the wrong way, half a turn, so it got bigger and went out there, and then I just turned it back half. I turned it back 1 full turn, so it was half a turn, and I was back in the group. It took me, what, a minute? Compared to what I used to do to tune bows. Oh, move the cams by like these little shims. Oh, bow presses, drop the cams, fit shims, put it all back together, get the peep sight working, go shoot, see how it is, then adjust it. I could be spending 2 hours, didn't earn any money for it because people would say, well, the bow should come tuned. And often it just depends on the archer. So for me shooting my son's bow and him shooting the bow, it will be a slightly different tune. Okay, so it's not so much, well, the bow's not tuned. Well, it's just for you, it's a little bit different than it is for me. Okay, so Generally, or unless you're torquing the bow lots, and then look, your tuning's not going to help. So the people who will like this is sometimes with the non-yoke system, this cable is running close to the cam, and some people didn't like that. This just puts it in balance. Besides that, it all looks pretty much the same. All right. Look, it's a bit more fancy here in the machining, but it's all, as far as I can see, pretty much the same. We'll just go and have a look. Now, it comes in two color options. I'm going to say two color options. This is the blue. Standard blue. I've always said to Elite, produce a red. And they've always ignored me, right? For years and years, they've ignored me. And that's okay. I don't mind being ignored. And one of their staff shooters I shot with in Vegas, and I said it'd be really good if you had a red bow, and she's like, I know, I'd have a red bow. And I was like, I've asked and they won't do it. So I'm just going to show you. So this is my verdict. Okay, so what's changed? They've put a Picatinny mount on the front here. I don't think that's a thing. I don't think you need it, but that's what they've done. They've got a little rear stabilizer thingy here. This is what I was talking about here, coming close. The module stop on this bow, it's smooth here. So if your bow was really out of time and you had this wheel really off center, it could pull past. Never had a problem, but I have had problems on other bows with that. So now they've got the little edge. So besides that, it's all pretty much the same. Is it about the same price? Like, I think it's up a little bit in price, but it's effectively the same. So that's the metallic brown paint. Wasn't particularly popular, that color, and I'm going to say the colors on the Elites are not particularly popular. They generally don't jump at people and go, that's my color, that's the color I want. The green's not particularly popular, the orange is, you know. And my most common question I get from customers is, should I buy the teal or should I buy the blue? Look, don't ask me these questions. Really don't ask me these questions. It's just a dumb question. It's like just personal choice. A guy rang me on Friday. I want to buy a trad bow, and I was like, how much do you want to spend? He goes, I don't know. And I'm like, oh, he goes, I want to buy a good one. And I'm like, just go and buy one you like the look of. And I'm sure I wasn't very helpful to him, but there's so many choices. If you're going to ask, say, look, between these two bows, which ones would you choose and why? Well, I can give you that, but when I've got 200 bows to choose from, and you haven't given me a price point, it's really, really hard. This is the Exalt. This is my son's bow. I really, really like this bow. The stop doesn't have an edge, so it's the same as the Verdict. It's got a Picatinny mount like the new Victra. It's got a little stabilizer like the Victra. It doesn't come in the red, okay? This bow sells in my store for about $2,100. The Victra sells for about $2,700, and that's a rough guess. That's what I'm selling for at the moment, but the freight was really expensive in. They cost me $300 US each bow to land. Normally it's about $100 a bow, and I've asked Elite to check, but I haven't got anywhere with it yet. So at the moment, that's sitting at about $2,700, which still prices it well on the marketplace. And obviously it hasn't stopped them selling because I've sold 5 of them. But I would like them down. I would like them down at the 2.5. This is the red. I haven't seen one. All the plastic. Now, when it comes to target bows, recurves or compound bows is all about the look. That's what people are buying. I'm just checking. Yes, it's on. It's very bright today. It's all about the look, and you're going to buy a bow that your mate shoots or that the best shooter in that state buys, right? So, shoots. This, now they also do it in a, I'm going to say like a purple or a candy or something. I don't think it's the right colour. I think the colours you need to do it in is a green. It needs to be a green like this, a green sparkle. They need it in a blue sparkle, they need it in a purple. But anyway, I'll show it on the screen. But in real life, this is why I'm here. This is the color. Now, let me... I don't like spending money, okay? I don't. I'm like, my bow's perfectly fine. I don't feel the need to buy a new bow. It's fine, I shoot great, it's a great bow, okay? I'm like, do I buy the new Exalt? And I'm like, oh, I just don't see the reason to, okay? Same with my recurve. I've had my recurve 5 years and I'm like, I'm struggling to find a reason to buy a new one. I would buy it if there was a good reason to, but it's basically the same and nothing's improved. Now, with the Victra, this color is amazing. I would buy this bow purely because of the color. Probably not what you want to hear. It's not what you want to hear, but this color looks amazing, and for me it looks pretty. I would feel happy shooting it on a shooting range. When I go out with my normal Verdict, no one ever goes, that's an amazing looking bow. You go out to a club with this bow, everyone is going to come up and they're going to look at it. The paint job, I've spoken about paint jobs before, and some paint jobs have been very average. I've called them out. Matthew's had some very average paint jobs. Hoyt had some average paint jobs. I think they've improved them. This Bowtech had some average paint jobs and they improved them out of sight. So the latest Bowtechs are amazing. The paint looks amazing. This, I'm going to argue, this is as good as any paint job on the market that has ever been done. And I'm not saying that because I'm an elite dealer. But there has been some beautiful paint jobs in the past. Bowtech have had some beautiful paint jobs going back in time with their crimsons and their golds and some amazing paint jobs. This, to me, the machining, look, the paint in here is just, it's just perfect. It's just perfect. Elite needs to put this paint on the Exalt. You just have to do it. They have to do this paint in a dark green. They have to do it in a purple. They have to do it in other colors, a gold. So then people are thinking, oh, that looks amazing. Now everyone's shooting the red, because literally 5 of these bows I've sold, all of them have been red. Like, no one's even brought the orange, the green, or the blue. Someone said they want to buy a black, and I'm like, boring. But this, I would buy this bow just because of the color. In fact, I intended to buy this bow for the color, but someone brought it before me. So I brought a 60 pounder into the shop that I was going to do a review with in red, set it up, do reviews, set it up for Target, do reviews, and then someone brought it, right? So if there's a red Exalt at your club, sorry, a red Victra at your club, that was the one I was going to be shooting. But anyway, this looks amazing. It's just amazing. I'm going to go back over some great paint jobs. Martin Archery, back when I was below 20s, used to do amazing paintwork like this. They did wood inlays. Those bows today still look amazing. This bow looks amazing. So in 20 years time, when I'm 75, this bow is still going to look amazing, and my Verdict in the brown is still going to look average. That's why I would buy this, right? So anyway, that's the Verdict. Have a look at the other color. I can't even think of it. It's just the wrong color. It might be popular with girls, but no one's ordered one, so it shows you how popular it is. So Elite, this is great. Now I'm going to say the advantage and disadvantage. This is a paint. It will chip. When you bolt stuff onto it, be careful, because the paint, it's paint. The other Elite finish is something, it's like baked, and the bow will look the same in 20 years as it looks today. With a paint finish, if you drop stuff on it, you've got to be careful. When you bolt your arrow rest on, be careful. I used to put leather behind the side. I used to put leather behind the arrow rest. so I didn't chip the paint, right? People are going to say there's issues with that because leather compressors and all that, but just be careful because it is paint. But so if you want something durable, don't buy the paint. Buy the other colors, buy the camos, buy the blacks. Black, you can you can drop it on the ground, nothing's going to happen to it, right? But this is spectacular. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going to set one up. I've hurt my back, so I've really hurt my back. I'm in a lot of pain, which is why I haven't done a review with it, because I struggle getting up and standing, and I just struggle with things in general at the moment. So, but we'll edit this video. 2 little holes back here for the rear stabilizers. Look, it's beautiful. Elite is really, when I say really good, I have so few problems with Elite. Like, the limbs are not under a lot of tension, so you don't get literally any problems. The problems you get with the limbs are generally dry fires and over compressing them and bow presses. So if someone gets compression cracks, I always say, look, who pressed your bow? Tell them not to press them too much, because people just crank them in the bow press and strings pop off nice and easy and they've buggered the limbs. It's like, anyway, just be really careful when you press a bow, because otherwise you can break the limbs. Less likely to on these because they're not under as much tension. Okay, but be careful. I don't understand this being doing a job in 2 minutes that can take 5, so you've saved yourself 3 minutes, but you've broken a set of limbs in the process. It's just stupidity. I understand why you do it, because it's nice and easy. We just rip the strings off because everything's nice and slack, but you've broken the limbs. Now you've got a fair bit of work and you've got lots of pain, because the customer's going to complain at me, they're going to complain at you, right? So on that point, how many Elite limbs have I ever replaced? Maybe 2, maybe 3, definitely under 5. I'm pretty sure it's under 5, and I've been selling Elite bows for years, so they're pretty good. Like, you know, other bow companies, I do a lot of limbs. So, yeah, so these are good. It's got limb locking, it's got tuning, it's got this, the roller system's great. The strings on these bows are good. They're winner's choice, which means the peep sight doesn't rotate. But yeah, overall, really like the bow. So is it better than the Verdict? I suppose is the question you're going to ask me. I don't know. I've had people, so the person in my store who's got both, he's had a Verdict, an Exalt, and this. He says this is amazing. He said this is the best bow he's ever shot. I think it's all pretty much the same, but I do like the red paint, which is why I will buy one, or why I am buying one, or why I will buy one. When eventually a 60-pound comes in that is not sold. But yeah, so that's the bow. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.